Good morning, California Employer Services. How are you doing today? I wanted to talk with you in a little bit more personal way. I wanted to give you some updates and let you know what's going on in the arena of compliance, as well as explain our new HR Platinum services that we're going to be offering. Um, let's start with some updates on what's going on around us. Cal-OSHA, the Cal-OSHA mandate is now dead. The courts have said no to Joe Biden. And in view of that, and with regards to that, some employers have asked me, can I mandate my employees to get vaccinated? And this is kind of an interesting question in view of the fact that the courts have struck down President Biden's mandate for larger companies. But companies have been able to mandate employees get a clean test before they come back to work after having COVID. So that kind of puts us in a real interesting position. On one hand, it's dead. On the other hand, we've been doing it. It could be considered an invasion of privacy, but in view of the health of your employees, having employees test before they come back to work is an important thing to do. So, in view of all of that, what's really the safest way forward? I would say that instead of mandating your employees take a test in order to come back, I'd ask them to take a test to come back. Wouldn't make it mandatory. If they say no, they don't want to do it, or if they test positive for a test after COVID symptoms have passed and after they've been off for 10 days, then this is how I would bring them back. I would have them be temperature free for 3 days without the aid of any pain medication or fever reducing medication. No ibuprofen, no aspirin, and yet they test, they haven't had a temperature in 3 days. The second part of this is to make sure that their symptoms are on the decline. If they lost their sense of taste, if they lost their sense of smell, they need to be getting it back. Whatever symptoms they had, those need to be in decline and consistently, along with the 3 days of being temperature free. I think that's probably the best way to handle all of this in view of the way the courts are shifting. I wouldn't require mandates on the vaccine anymore at all, because the courts aren't going to pay your attorney's bill. I can tell you very strongly right now that all of this is going to be challenged in court. In fact, as we sit here today, there have been a number of cases in California with regards to mandated testing, with regards to COVID-19. And so I think that we need to be cautious and careful about how we approach this, because ultimately the courts are not going to help us. So I'm kind of thinking this is uncharted waters for all of us. I'm kind of thinking that the best thing to do is not necessarily mandate, but require that employees, if they want to come back to work, do what I said: 3 days, no fever, symptoms on the decline, and so on. I think that's going to be your safest bet. Let's talk a little bit more about this. Since there are a tremendous amount of lawsuits, the number of lawsuits in the last 12 months have doubled from when the first wave of lawsuits started coming in. And California is leading the way of the nation in the number of COVID employee-related lawsuits. So if you don't have your COVID-19 compliance binder, get one. If you don't have your policies that you're actually doing in the workplace in your COVID compliance binder, you need to change that, because all of these things are going to be what determines your guilt or innocence should you be one of those employers that get sued. Now, again, I'm not sue happy. I'm not telling you that you're going to have a lawsuit if you don't get a COVID-19 compliance program. I can tell you you'll be in violation of the law, but I'm not going to tell you you're going to get sued for it. So get your program. Put it in place correctly. Make sure you're doing in the workplace what you say you're doing. We have been providing those programs. They're customized. They will pass your Cal-OSHA inspection, and they will be good. So if you need one, talk to us. Let's get you one. Let's get you going. Let's talk now about our new HR Platinum service. It's another service that we've had to implement because of the increase in lawsuits, the increase in requirements by the laws that are being put in place, and also because there's been a new legal trend. So here's how we came to implement this is how we came to implement the new HR Platinum service. First of all, over the last several months, my network of attorneys have been telling me to stop the at-will status, stop using that as a way to defend the termination of an employee. And they're right. They really are right. The at-will status cannot be defended anymore. It's not worth the paper or the ink that's written on the paper. It's not worth the breath it takes to describe it or do it. Now, this is not because the laws have changed. This is because of a new legal trend that's been happening. It's been going on for years, and now it is really at the forefront, and it is really, even though at-will status is your default position in California, I'm not denying that, it just doesn't work anymore when you defend the reason for terminating an employee. This legal trend of lawsuits where the employee claims that he was fired for no reason and therefore it's a wrongful lawsuit, that is the exact definition of at-will employment. The definition of at-will employment is that either you or the employee terminates the relationship with or without cause and with or without notice. So there you go. And yet, although most cases do not go to court, the courts on the cases they do get have not defended the law, and they have not shot down these empty lawsuits that says I was fired for no reason. Well, that's the definition of at-will employment. The courts are allowing those cases to come in. They are siding on the side of employees because the employee does not have a strategic disciplinary action plan that contains or has in it 4 different policies. And the policies are basically accommodation. That's number 1. You have to accommodate the employee. Well, what does that mean? That means you ask the employee, is there any reason why you cannot do and perform according to the standard that we have established? The employee is going to give you an answer. Most of the time it's going to be a bogus answer, and so you just deal with it by saying, you know what, we'll think about it, but right now there really isn't anything that we can do to particularly accommodate that, but we will be talking about it and so on. Secondly, the evaluation of the employee's performance while in that disciplinary time period. Because what you need to do is have meetings with this employee once a week, no longer than 5 to 10 minutes, going over their performance for the week prior. And of course, the goal is to get the employee performing according to the standard that you expect him to perform. Rehabilitation. you have to make an effort to rehab this employee and give them a chance to fix themselves. And you also have to have an expectation, which means you specifically spell out the company's expectations of the employee now and going forward. So you're going to meet with this employee every week for 5 weeks. At the end of those 5 weeks, if you have to terminate him, then you terminate him for cause. Now, here's the problem. Most employers have not developed that style or that kind of an employee disciplinary policy. The sad thing for me in going through this period of lawsuits, because in the last 2 or 3 months, we've had our own members getting sued, and each of them have been paying $15,000 to $30,000 per case. And that is not exciting to us. We don't like that. In the process of finding that out, we found out that most of our members don't even know what's in their employee handbook. So they don't know what's in their employee handbook. They don't know how to use it. And yet still, the employee handbook is your front line of defense. So as I looked at all of that and thought about it, the HR Platinum Services came to play, and this is how it's going to work. For everyone that signs up for the HR Platinum Service, it's $700 by itself on top of the membership, on top of the Platinum Cal-OSHA service that we do, where we do your walkthroughs. $700. We're going to come down and we're going to meet with you. We're going to go over what's in your employee handbook. We're going to make sure you understand what's in your employee handbook. We're going to make sure that you understand how to use your employee handbook so that it becomes a valuable commodity to you instead of just something that you do and don't pay any attention to, because that is a recipe for disaster today. So we are also going to create all the forms that we will be using in the disciplinary action that will be taken when you have need to do this program. We're going to guide you through every step of the way. We're going to talk to you. We're going to strategize. We're going to be your off-site compliance coach, manager, whatever you want to call it. We're your partner. We're going to guide you through this. And at the end of the day, you and I will have talked. In fact, we'll have talked all the way through this process so that we both will have a very good idea of which direction the employee is going. Hopefully, the employees will respond in a positive manner. You can restore them to a good and effective employee, and they can be a real asset to you. But if not, we're going to terminate the employee. We're going to have copies of the records of the meetings. All of the forms that we're going to create for you will be there. So that way, if you should get a lawsuit arising out of a termination, with the paperwork that we're going to have with you, with the strategy that we're going to implement, unless you violated a wage and hour deal, unless you didn't follow through and do it right, the employer, the attorney, I guarantee you 90% of the time is going to go after lower hanging fruit, because you're going to have yourself in a very, very, very defendable position. You will look professional. You will be able to answer this, and you'll be able to answer it clearly, and it's going to be great for all those employers that get involved, because you know what? I don't like my members getting sued. I don't like them not understanding what's in their employee handbook, and we're here to help them. And so if this is what it takes to stop this nonsense, then this is what we're willing to do. I hate creating new programs. I hate putting out new things. But our Cal-OSHA Platinum service, where we do the walkthroughs, we've had our clients inspected by Cal-OSHA, and they're coming out smelling like roses all of the time. Even if they haven't done things perfectly, the fines have been, I won't say insignificant, but they've been small. $30,000 in fines gets reduced to $2,000 and other such numbers, okay? $1,000 fine gets down to $500. We are very proud of our ability to put you in a defendable position, and we're looking forward to doing it here. You don't have to sign up for this program. It's totally up to you. But every year that we renew, we're going to cover in our first meeting with you the top 10 reasons why employers are getting sued. We're going to go over your employee handbook and see if there's any reasons to change it, if there's anything that we have to address that needs to be changed, and then we're going to help you change it. We're going to actually walk mile by mile with you down this road because, quite frankly, you guys have so much to do in today's society with marketing, branding, getting clients in the door, keeping clients in the door, that you don't have time nor the skills to do what you need to do in the arena of HR compliance and Cal-OSHA compliance. Well, now you have a partner who's going to be there for you, who wants to be there for you, who loves to tell the success stories of employers winning instead of losing. So in the newsletter that you got, there is links to the new laws that are coming up in 2022. And we're looking forward to hearing from you on the HR Platinum services. You're going to find it's much easier. You're going to feel better because you're going to know that with Cal-OSHA, you're already in a defendable position if you're doing the Platinum service with us. If you do the HR Platinum service with us, you're going to know that as far as Cal-OSHA goes and labor law goes and using your employee handbook correctly, you're going to be dialed in and you don't have to worry about the lawsuit coming. You're going to be in a defendable position. That's what gets me excited. So again, you don't have to do this service if you don't want to. Call me, talk to me. Let's talk about it. Let's see what you want to do, and let's make compliance easy, man. There's enough other stuff going on. So listen, I hope you have a great Christmas. We appreciate you as our member. If we ever have to create a program to protect your rights better, to put you in a better position, then we will do that. I can't think of anything else to say. I wish there was a way to ask questions because I'm sure you probably have some, and it would make probably make a real good seminar. But if you have questions, give me a call. Call me on my cell phone, 559-284-1912, and let's talk. If you have questions about the new HR Platinum services that we're going to be kicking off the first of the year, let us know. If you want to do it, we need to get you signed up because we're going to start doing those and meeting with those clients who sign up for it beginning the 1st of January, because we want everybody who joins this HR Platinum service to have been met with and to be dialed in by the 1st of April. So that only gives us 3 months, January, February, and March, to visit all of you guys. If we have to push it back a little bit, we will, but I don't want to push it back. I want you guys all dialed in by April 1st so that you can be in a very good position. Oh, if you are a member and you have subscribed to the Platinum Cal-OSHA service, we're going to be, and you also decide that you want to be the Platinum HR service, we are going to give you a $100 discount. Now you can allocate that any way you want. You can say it's $50 off of each service. It's $100 off of one of the services. I don't care. We want to give you a $100 discount to make this easier for you and better for you. But going forward, we're excited about it for the simple reason that we know you're going to be good to go. So don't forget, we also have a network of attorneys that we work with that you can call and get your consultation free. Before you call them, you know that they're pro-employer, not pro-employee. None of the attorneys that I know of that are on our network even handle employee lawsuit cases. They are very pro-employer attorneys. So listen, guys, have a great day. Thank you for your time, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye now.